The show is still the Eastern Business Report on the Afia Business Morning. I'm Nnamdi Obanya. Just 2 weeks after an oil spill was reported at Ogali community in Eleme local government area of Rivers State, a fresh oil spill has occurred at the Ikata community in Ahoda East local government area of the state. The incident was reported at the Port Harcourt Secretariat of Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center, and the Executive Director, Dr. Fineface Dumnamene Fineface, joins us this morning from Port Harcourt to shed more light on this worrying developing story. Good morning, Mr. Fineface.
Good morning to you, Nnamdi. Nice to be part of the program.
Great to be here. So let me start by taking you back. So could you tell us exactly how it was that early hours of Monday morning when the volunteers came to tell you about the bus pipeline on the, I think it's OML 11 right-of-way pipeline. What happened that morning?
Well, it was really terrible because we have had very many incidents of crude oil spill in Rivers State. So far, in the last 30 days or so, we have recorded at least 4 spills from the different reports we have received. And even this Monday morning, when this particular one was reported, we weren't surprised because what we have in the Niger Delta region today in Rivers State also is that any day that there is no oil spill is the breaking news that we have. So this seems to be appearing and happening almost every day. So when the report was brought to our attention with videos and pictures of crude oil oozing from the ground, spewing into the environment, destroying the aquatic life within the area and the water bodies, it was terrible and, of course, shocking that this kind of thing could still happen. So members of our volunteers network at Advocacy Center did say that their visit to the site, pending when the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency visit the site to carry out the joint investigation visit, that what they saw indicated that it was sabotage and alleged sabotage, but that is subject to confirmation by NOSRA through the joint investigation visit process. So we saw videos and those terrible information that we have shared shows clearly that, oil spill is still not yet far from over. Because just early last month, we received oil spill a report of oil spill in Ogali community. Thereafter, we received 2 spills report from Okrika area. And then we also recently received another oil spill report from Korokoro community in the local government area of Rivers State as well. So this is occurring. And even before then, we had the spills that also occurred, the explosion that also occurred, on the gas pipeline right of way that also happened. So all of this happened almost at quick succession. And it's surprising that all of this are still happening when the multinational oil companies have been asked, according to the United Nations Environment Program report on Ogoni, that they should divest their oil facilities. And then all of these facilities also been, they should decommission their facilities. And all of these facilities being divested to indigenous companies now are also very old and obsolete, and they are bursting and deflating like balloons. So in the days ahead, we are going to experience more oil spills in the Niger Delta because the pipeline, the facilities being handed over on the divestment arrangement and deal they are having, they are all old, obsolete, and over 60 years of age. So more oil spills are yet to come.
Wow. I understand you're being frank about your assessment, but it's so worrying that we're almost so sure that the more oil spills. And I made a mistake. The OML 11 issue was at the Ogoni area of the state. This was the 14-inch pipeline right of way that happened this time. This is the one in Ikata community.
Ikata, yeah.
This is so. Now let me ask: what exactly are the economic activities now in this community, and of course in Ogali that witnessed the spill just 2 weeks ago? What economic activities are native to those people that have now been badly affected by these spills?
Yeah, the spills. Let me start from Ogali. Ogali people do not have water very close by. They have a little water body in parts of their farms in the Okawemu area. They have that water body. Though that water body have also been destroyed by different oil spills in the past. And in that area now, we also have the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project carrying out the cleanup projects recommended by UNEP report 2011. In the Ogali area, majorly it is the crops that people plant on their farms that are destroyed and impacted whenever there is spill of that nature. And then the few water bodies, when it occurs where there is a little water body that they have, you also have it destroyed. And then the atmosphere is also usually impacted because people within the area will begin to inhale, gases that come from all of this. And in Ogali, it has also been established by United Nations Environment Program report, UNEP, that underground water in the area is polluted 900 times above World Health Organization recommended standard. So in Ogali, you cannot sink a borehole and you can get water out of it, clean water out of it. No. When you sink a borehole, you are going to bring out water that has been polluted by benzene. The water will be smelling like kerosene. You can't drink it. You can't use it to wash. You can't use it for domestic purposes. You can't use it for anything. Many boreholes within the area have been abandoned. Many boreholes that were even sunk to get water purified by way of producing sachet water and the bottled water, they are all abandoned. So all of that area is fully polluted by oil spill that have occurred over time, just like the one that also just occurred. And to interest you to know that as we speak, Ogali community is in a long drawn battle court case with Shell in London. The cases are lined up. We've been hearing it, the Ogali farmers and all of that. The same thing with the Bile people is the same case they are pushing. So a lot of pollution in the area have destroyed this water body. Then what happened in the Kata community, on the 5th of this month, we got on Monday, is also a very massive oil spill. You can see how the crude was oozing from the ground with speed or pressure of the transportation of the crude oil from, the pumping point to where it was going to, the export terminal. So all of this also destroyed the environment within the area, the aquatic lives, and then the water body. In this area, there's a lot of water. You could see videos that we are sent to the center, pictures of how oil have destroyed all of them. So all of these are not very good with our environment because it is destroying the environment massively. And we all know that Niger Delta people are predominantly fishermen and farmers. So when there is spills of this nature and destroy the environments, water bodies, it throws the people that are into fishing and farming out of their businesses at the expense of, they are taking care of their family and all of those things. So it is a dangerous trend that we are having, that spills of this nature continue to occur, whether it is from equipment failure or sabotage, as the one of Ikata community has been alleged to be. All of this put together is destroying the Niger Delta environment, and it's not something I think we should continue with. So steps will be taken by the authorities to address some of these issues so that we can have a better environment that supports life.
I mean, we should do that. You mentioned possible sabotage. Now, while we are not sure, like you rightly said, we'll wait for the authorities to confirm. But just, because we are speculating, could the sabotage be, economic sabotage, maybe competition or otherwise? Or could it be linked to the political issues in River State? Because there were threats by some groups that they would ground oil production, even though that did not materialize. But all of a sudden, we're having a frequency of damage to oil installations at all levels of the value chain. Is it possible that, these events could be linked to each other?
Yeah, I think in the first instance, I just must say that this particular event is not in any way linked to the political issues in River State, because our investigation so far has shown that basically it is an alleged sabotage. And the sabotage now, from what we have experienced from this particular spill in the Ikata community in the Ahoda East local government area of River State, it has shown that it is a different dynamics of sabotage. Basically, what we understand to be sabotage in the Niger Delta in the past was to be that, the youth who are involved in illegal refineries, we vandalize the pipeline, steal crude oil, refine it, and make money out of it. But this particular incident on 5th of this month of May that occurred on Monday, investigation have shown that eyewitnesses, people within the community that we have asked, have said that some farmers even told them that contractors to Renaissance, which is Shell, before the divestment, are those who paid some farmers to dig the place, vandalize the pipeline so that OSP can occur and they will give them clean up job to go and clean up the area, clean the area, and they will make their money. That is what we are getting out of this particular incident. We have heard this in the past. We do follow it up. And it's also one of the cases against Shell in the Netherlands now and in the UK court in Ogale case and Bile cases, that their contractors normally pay some people to vandalize pipeline for there to be OSP so that they will have clean up job to carry out. This is becoming very clear with this particular incident in the Kata community from eyewitness and report that has been alleged by members of the community that the farmers say, oh, when the farmers now saw how the spill was destroying their farms and land and water bodies around the area, oh, they regretted that, oh, the contractors even allegedly pay us small money to vandalize these pipelines so that they can be giving clean up jobs. And they are now regretting the token they took, and when they see the impact, when they saw the impact that the spill has caused on the environment, they are now regretting. So it's unfortunate that contractors will go this extra mile to create problems so that they can provide solutions and make money at the expense of our environment.
You know, this is a very serious allegation, that is being made. And if the farmers, are willing to go on record to say this, companies like Renaissance Africa Energy and others could be in serious issues if that is, of course, we can verify the statements of these farmers. And if this trend is continuing, apart from Shell themselves, of course, maybe they can be linked to it via laws of agency because they engage these agents to, on their behalf, run these facilities. But there could also be criminal issues for deliberate sabotage and environmental degradation that could lead to loss of quality of life and even loss of human life. So are we, apart from the civil cases against Shell, in the UK, are we seeing any criminal petitions being put forward locally here?
Yeah, some of those petitions can be put out locally here, but then the Nigerian judiciary has not been helpful when it comes to do with fighting multinational oil companies and even indigenous companies when it has to do with crime. Because the judicial system is such that when they initiate cases, they don't get justice. The cases will be shifted, it will be adjourned until those who initiated the cases will die, their children will continue. And when you look at some of those situations, it make them not to can initiate these cases here. But then we are in a very serious situation now because Renaissance now happens to be an indigenous company. The multinational, which is SPDC, they have changed their color. We now have an old one in a new bottle called Renaissance. So where will they run to now when some of these things happen? So legal cases, legal issues like this or petitions can come up. They may file cases, but will they get justice? Do they have the money to prosecute the cases? These are some of the issues that we have because this is a clear criminal case. Vandalizing oil infrastructure, those who are involved can be traced and arrested and then prosecuted because these are some of the issues that I think the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, and of course the ICPC can come in to investigate and prosecute because this is an economic crime. But some of these things can be done and then we see what happens to make sure that justice is served. But here you are not going to see a lot of those things happen because the company involved is now an indigenous company, Renaissance Africa Energy Company Limited. And then you have the contractors involved. They are local contractors who have paid local people to vandalize the pipeline. So when you look at the chain of relationships that are involved in all of this, you begin to hear, it's we, let us not do it, let us just leave it. So they create problems to make money at the expense of other people. I've also seen similar cases, like sometimes when I advocate in the Ogoni area around the Ogoni cleanup project, when I complain what people are doing, like Ogoni cleanup project has a lot of petitions against the cleanup. When I complain why they have to make the petitions and what have you, when I try to condemn it, you see some people will call me to say that when they petition, they drive the clean up to court and do all of that thing, they're looking for their stomach. It's for stomach infrastructure. So they will call them and settle them. So we that are advocating and calling for better price and other things, we don't have a share. We don't have a part. We are not carried along because we are not creating problem. But if, as I am now, I want to make money now, all I need to do is to, frame up some issues, drag some people to court, go to the media, begin to talk, and they call me aside and settle me. I'm not that kind of person. So those are the kind of things that you see in the entire formal and informal oil sector in Nigeria. If you don't make trouble, if you don't get involved in things like this, you don't make money. So the contractors now, maybe for a while, they have not had the opportunity of getting cleanup job. So all they need to do is to pay peanut to some farmers who will agree to go and vandalize the pipeline so that they are giving cleanup jobs. So these are how people use criminality to make money in our system. And that is what the system allegedly and of course they want, of course, what they want, what the system is asking for. Because today, for you to be relevant in even Nigerian politics, you begin to shoot gun, begin to have gun, because the moment you can create problem for them, they call you and they settle you. A lot of these things are there. We also have issues around the oil and gas sector relating to how former warlords in the Niger Delta are being rewarded through one way or the other. A lot of these things happen. So this is what you have when you have a black gold like oil. A lot of criminalities are involved in order for people to make money. You will see that as we speak, as at this morning, my contact with the community have shown that they have stopped the oil spill from happening, where this one happened in the Kata community. So those who went to stop the oil spill, those who are involved in all these projects, all of them will begin to make money. So if there was no vandalization, there was no spillage and things like that, people will not make money. So people bring in criminality to be able to make money from the oil and gas sector. And that is because those who are involved are not also making those who are not involved to benefit from it without them creating problems that they have to solve.
I mean, there's something that strikes me, which is that a farmer would be willing to vandalize a pipeline in his own community for stipend. So what are the community outreach advocacies or, orientation to the people? Because there's a saying that says it is the rat out inside the house that tells the rat outside that there's Gary in the house. There's no way these things can happen without agents in the communities themselves who are collaborators and conspirators with these companies, mercenaries, vandals. There is no way that they can get things without the people who are in there, who know the creeks, who know the layouts, who know the, So what is the outreach orientation? Already I know, and I would like you to also brief me a bit about the youth volunteer network you have, who seem to be very effective for them to, be stationed everywhere. So what is the outreach plan? And can you tell me a bit about this volunteer network?
Yeah, the Youth Volunteers Network, which we call the 1 Million Youth Volunteers Network of Human Rights Defenders and Promoters in the Niger Delta. I launched that on December 10, 2019. And they are in all communities in the 9 states of the Niger Delta. And they are in those communities to monitor environmental issues, monitor human rights issues, and they also report incidents of corruption that affect their development. They are also contributing to environmental advocacy, peace building, and mechanism in the communities. They are all working both to promote some of these good virtues in community by promoting human rights, and they also report issues that impede and shrink the the civic space. So them working like this and reporting issues of oil spills. We also have the crude oil alert system. That COSAS that we have, crude oil spill alert system, they are also part of that network. So they also advocate and they talk to people. But the problem we have been facing is that we do not have funding that we are actually able to use and give them the empowerment to organize events and talk to people. So what we only use is the help of the media to reach out to people. And sometimes when we have meetings, we use the opportunity to send message to them through the media. And that doesn't happen frequently. So even when you talk to community people about the dangers of some of these things, when they are hungry, you can imagine that a contractor that will be given clean up contracts on a particular area when there is an OSP can easily offer 500,000 or 1 million naira, or even far less than that, to a farmer who will not dig the soil around where the pipeline is, because this is an 4-inch pipe that has been vandalized. They will not dig the hole around the pipeline, making it easier for another set of people to come and break the pipeline. So they will report oil spill, and then people will come and do it. So these youths are talking. We are all talking. I am their leader. We are talking, advocating. We have also told the government that, look, some of the youth that are involved in this, because the economy is hard, people are hungry, a little money you throw at them, they will pick it and do something criminal. So government should also legalize these artisanal refineries that they break the pipeline to steal crude oil to do. And we have recommended to the federal government of Nigeria and also presented to them in several documents, and we have had several meetings, but it has not come to fruition, that they should set up what we call the Presidential Artisanal Crude Oil Refining Development Initiative, PACODI, that I conceived and popularized on the 27th of July 2020 and presented to the federal government. Because if you look at parts of the north and western Nigeria, the federal government of Nigeria have established the Presidential Artisanal Gold Mining Development Initiative, PAGMI, that legalizes illegal gold mining in parts of the north and western Nigeria. Do the same thing in the south for people who are involved in illegal crude oil mining. so that we can have some of these youths engaged, and you will not have people to offer, contractors will not have people to offer a token, and they get into this breaking or digging hole for people to break pipeline, and then there is fee for them to clean up. You also recall that just last week as well, there was also an explosion in Omoku, the headquarters of Oba Igbo in local government area of Rivers State, where 4 women and 1 man died because they stored this illegal product in their homes, and from there they are selling it to make a living. And all of this put together is making people to die. So our Youth Volunteers Network is doing everything they can from the 9 states of Niger Delta to not only report but also advocate. But people who are hungry, I think it was Aristotle also that said that to what use is philosophy to a hungry person? When you are hungry, no matter how we talk to you, you won't hear. So in our advocacy, we also try to advocate for empowerment, skills acquisition, and to give the people livelihood opportunities that will keep and disabuse their minds away from acts of pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft, and artisanal refineries that contribute to environmental pollution. So we are doing all we can, and that we are very active. We are everywhere. We are trying our best to make sure that the society is made to be better. The moment we released a statement on Monday, the incident happened by past 6 to 7 a.m. on Monday, May 5, 2025 here. And we released a statement by 11:12:1. Before 4 p.m., when the statement went out and the news was viral everywhere, Renaissance mobilized their contractors and all of them, they went and stopped the spill. While they are waiting for the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency to come forward. So we are playing very critical and crucial role to making sure that whenever there is a spill, we do a real-time reporting, and then the authorities will now go and address the spill. So our role is helping to reduce hydrocarbon from the environment, and is helping to improve the environment in the Niger Delta. Because if we never talk and this information never came out, maybe because we don't have people in that area, you agree with me that since Monday till now, spills would have been continuing in that area. But because of the alarm we raised, it helped to address this issue. And we continue to play this role so that our environments can be better. We can have a better environment that supports life. But because of all of this pollution, I can tell you that if you check the life expectancy of the people in the Niger Delta is lesser than what you have in other parts of Nigeria. And they are all associated with hydrocarbon pollution, gas flaring, inhaling poisonous gas, drinking polluted water, eating food that has been contaminated with benzene 900 times above World Health Organization recommended standards. So the people here are living in a poisonous environment. That is why we raised this 1 million Youth Volunteers Network, human rights defenders and promoters, to help us report to address these issues for us to have a better environment for our people.
So now, on the issue of the artisanal refineries, modular refineries, small-scale refineries, I 100% agree with you. I feel that, and I've been saying it, and I'm very happy that there's someone who's pushing it, that long ago, had we started getting these young men and women involved in this, train them, give them technical courses, standardized it, we would have had so many little artisanal refineries all over the Niger Delta. I would have had them, local consumption within the South-South and parts of the Southeast could have been handled by a collection of artisanal refineries, even if it's just for things like AGO, kerosene, naphtha, even poor fuel oil, things that are used in machinery, in stoves, in homes, candles, industry just around here. All these things could have been achieved, but it seems as if a blind eye is being turned, and maybe the conflict is profitable to some. But just on a final note, has anybody, be it the NDDC, Niger Delta Ministry, or even anybody been contacted or tried to absorb this volunteer network and formalize it into some sort of regional volunteer task force where, they can be paid a stipend, they can be given communication gadgets, and even have a technological framework? Is it something that you will be open to collaborating with the NDDC or Ministry of Niger Delta? Because, of course, maybe even make the oil companies subscribe to a service so that everybody is monitored and there's real-time watch for these things. Is that something you'll be open to? Is that something you've tried? And is that, or is that something that anybody has approached you about?
I think we have not been approached about that, but I know quite well that oftentimes we have had invitations from some federal government agencies to come and tell them more about what we do at Advocacy Center, where we serve as a think tank to address these problems. We are open to collaboration. We are open to partnership because we can't do this alone. And when we expand our networks and contact, we'll be able to do more. So the NDDC is free to reach us. The Niger Delta Ministry is free to reach us. The Ministry of Petroleum Resources, they are free to reach us. The Ministry of Environment, they are free to reach us. The National OSP Detection and Response Agency, we are open to them. And other committees in the National Assembly, we are open to working with them to address it. We have been telling them that if they can address some of these issues, we have given them all the ideas they need to put together. We also talk about what we call the network on organized crime in Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea, because even some of the crude that is stolen from the Niger Delta is taken outside the country. We are also trying to partner with other countries within the Gulf of Guinea to address this issue. And we also released a statement at the 2023 National Conference on Organized Crime that I put together to say that, Mr. President, reach out to other presidents in the Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea and set up what I call the Task Force on Organized Crime in Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea to be a kind of standby force that will fight this. It was that idea that Mr. President used last year to call for the establishment of ECOWAS standby force for the West African sub-region. And we wrote to Mr. President thanking him for doing that. The National Assembly have also taken our idea to legalize artisanal refinery. There is a bill being sponsored at the National Assembly. I think it's by Kingsley Chinda of Rivers State. We also have that. And we have also generated another idea that I call the Nigeria Border and Coastal Guard, that will be like the United States agency that is in charge of gas. So all of this put together, we have been generating the idea. So we need partnerships and collaborations with the media. Is also giving us platform to talk to them about, so that we can address some of these issues and have a better environment for our people here and abroad.
And we hope so too. We'll also be doing our part to make sure that, the light is shining, because without light shining, then the things we don't want to happen will continue to happen. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you so much for the early alert. And thank you so much for being here this morning. Executive Director, YEAC, Mr. Fineface Dumnamene Fineface, also part of the Afia family, and always good to have you on. Thank you for being here. And I'm sure we'll continue to follow up on this matter and maybe even the legal processes that might follow. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And that's all we can take on the Eastern Business Report. But Afia Business Morning is not yet over. The commercial center world, the child that is lost in the market, Market Pekin, as she likes to call herself, is waiting to take you to meet the traders and the products. How Market comes up right after this. So stay tuned to channel 254 on DSTV, 17 on Go TV, and of course 748 on Free TV. Till I see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow for another edition of the Afia Business Morning. I am Nnamdi Obanya saying have a profitable business day.